Morning, everyone. Today at Jay's Paradox Hut, we're going to talk about being wrong. And this is my fifth video attempting to do this, as I have made a considerable amount of mistakes trying to put this idea in a condensed manner. I'm not trying to prove something, because trying to prove it would be paradoxical in its state. Trying to prove something is wrong while you're saying that it being wrong doesn't exist is a contradiction. I'm saying that I would like to open up the ideas to new possibilities. The first possibility is that our words for right and wrong are being incorrectly applied. When we look at ourselves and we look at the ideas that we create and that we create in the world and that we see, we take the context of ourselves, the context of the world, and reapply that idea back. It's like somebody asks you, describe big without using any synonyms for it. So no tall, no huge, nothing. And for an instant, you kind of get stuck. Because what we do in our reality, in our world, is that we use the same thing to describe the same thing. Because we don't know what else to use. So we apply things of equivalent value. Well, in this situation, we have a very a conundrum. When we deal with the issue of being wrong, we have to ask ourselves, what does wrong mean? From our perspective, wrong means we do something that is incorrect. There you go, incorrect. Something that is flawed, again. Something that is not acceptable, another variation of the word. But in reality, what does it mean? Not from our human perspective, but from a universal perspective of nature. Meaning, if the universe was going to look and say, this is wrong, how would it do it? Well, in my humble opinion, the only things that the universe would consider wrong are things that are impossible. Meaning, things that cannot exist in its existence. That's wrong. It doesn't exist, therefore it's wrong. It can't exist. An actual error. So what's right in the perspective of the universe? Well, everything else. Well, considering that we are part of nature and our brains, all of it, are inseparable from that nature, our brains work on that same premise. The premise is that if it exists, it's right. If it doesn't exist, it's wrong. If it's possible, it's right. If it's not possible, it's wrong. Now, this brings up the question of ethics. How do we teach people right and wrong if the concept is already flawed? And as we've seen through our history, we seem to have a big problem with getting people to do the right thing and not do the wrong thing. Well, I'm going to propose a solution, because having just a problem does no good for anyone. The solution that I've come up with was based on a mathematician named Nash. Maybe you've seen his movie. It's called Beautiful Mind. It was a movie based on his story. And in this, in one scene, he talks about, there's a blonde and they have 4 friends. He has 4 friends. If they all go after the blonde, they will all block each other. If one of them goes after the blonde and then they go to the friends will reject them because nobody wants to be second best. But if all friends accept that they can't go after the blonde, but individually go after the 4 friends, they all win. And then John put it in the movie, they all get laid. Well, this idea is built on the premise that the needs of all, as long as they're fulfilled, leads to the best possible solution. And in this situation, John Nash in the movie missed a very, very simple idea. He left that scene, ignoring the blonde. The needs of the blonde was missed. So the scene itself is a little bit of a paradox, because had he stayed and everyone would have conquered, most likely success would have increased dramatically. Well, we need to teach people this same notion. The notion is that it's not about right or wrong. It's not. because right or wrong doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense in our brains. We will never know what wrong feels like because it doesn't exist. And Dr. Schulz made a very good point of this during her speech when she asked the audience, how does wrong feel? And everyone described how finding out you're wrong feels. And what you found out isn't that you were wrong, is that what you did was not the path to the solution, which would have made everyone happy. That's what we need to teach. We need to teach the basic idea that it's not about doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. It's about sitting down and analyzing a situation so that you can find out what solution makes the most people that you are capable of afflicting and affecting in this situation happy. The best possible answer for all parties involved. That is the correct answer for you, for a human being, not for the universe. That is not the correct answer universally. That is a correct answer for your current state of being to the best of your knowledge, which is the limitation of being human. Your brain can only analyze to the best of its knowledge, and to the best of its knowledge, it can find a solution that is amicable to all parties. This takes a little bit of diplomacy and a little bit of self-discipline. The idea I hope that I'm able to explain is that wrong, the idea of being wrong, is flawed, completely flawed, doesn't even exist, because the word is an incorrect application. Instead of using the word wrong, what we can use is the most unhappy. And instead of the word right, we can use the most happy, for the most parties. So the most unhappy solution and the most happy solution would be how you would try to explain to individuals how to proceed on an ethical path. This has effects that are far-reaching on a theoretical level, because if you're doing what's best for all parties in interest, and all parties in that receive what is best decide to reciprocate to all parties in interest, what you do is you get a constantly elevated society where everyone is just trying to elevate each other. And ironically, this actually leads to the best possible solution for the individual. Mathematically proven by John Nash, where we all win. So I hope this idea of wrong and right make a little bit of sense to everyone. And let me know what you guys think. I'm probably going to do another video on this. This is probably going to be number 6 or 7. Have a great holidays. Enjoy New Year's. It's coming up soon. Tomorrow I'll be doing another video on the idea of infinity.